I'm sure you've heard the news. Whispers carried on the wind, tales etched onto parchment, the echoes of a force that reshaped the very world we know. Genghis Khan and his horsemen didn't just reshape maps. They redrew the boundaries of civilization, leaving an indelible mark on the tapestry of human history. Their impact resonates even now, centuries later. They rewrote the rules of war. Forget the slow, lumbering armies of old. The Mongols brought speed, strategy, and a terrifying efficiency to the battlefield, changing warfare forever. Their tactics were revolutionary, their impact undeniable. But did you know the Mongols also championed something quite unexpected? Beyond the battlefield, beyond the clash of steel and the thunder of hooves, lay a surprising commitment to free trade and religious freedom. Yes, amidst the chaos of conquest, they fostered an environment where commerce flourished and diverse faiths could coexist. A paradox, perhaps, but a crucial part of their story. Let's set the scene. It's the early 1200s. The world is a patchwork of kingdoms and empires, each vying for power. Europe is in the throes of the Crusades, China is divided, and the Middle East is a melting pot of cultures. The Mongol tribes, once scattered and feuding, roamed the vast steppes of Central Asia, their lives dictated by the rhythm of the seasons and the constant struggle for survival. They were a people hardened by adversity, skilled horsemen and fierce warriors, but divided amongst themselves, until they unite under the iron will of Genghis Khan. Temujin, as he was originally known, rose from humble beginnings to forge a unified Mongol nation, transforming a collection of warring tribes into a force that would shake the world. His leadership was the catalyst, his vision the driving force. In just a few decades, they explode out of the steppes, a whirlwind of horse and steel, sweeping across Asia and beyond. Their armies were unstoppable, their conquests breathtaking in their scope and speed, building the largest contiguous land empire in history, a realm that stretched across continents and encompassed a vast array of cultures and peoples. From the frozen north to the scorching deserts, their influence was felt, stretching from Korea to Hungary. Imagine the logistical challenges, the sheer scale of governing such a vast territory. It was a feat of organization and military might. Their secret, ruthless efficiency. Every soldier was a skilled horseman, every unit meticulously organized, every campaign planned with meticulous detail. They were masters of logistics and adaptation. Mongol cavalry moved faster than news could travel, a lightning strike across the landscape, appearing where they were least expected. Their speed and mobility were unmatched, allowing them to outmaneuver and overwhelm their enemies. Using psychological warfare, they understood the power of fear, using it as a weapon to demoralize their opponents and break their will to resist, spreading terror to make enemies surrender without a fight. The mere reputation of the Mongol armies was enough to send some cities into immediate submission, saving countless lives and resources in the process. If cities resisted, the Mongols could be brutal, a terrifying display of force designed to crush any opposition. They were masters of siege warfare, adapting and improving upon existing technologies to breach even the most formidable defenses. Mass slaughters, razed walls, scorched earth. The destruction they wrought was often total, a grim reminder of the consequences of defiance. The stories of these sieges are filled with unimaginable horror. But surrender? You might be spared. Life under Mongol rule wasn't always a nightmare. In fact, in many cases, it was preferable to the previous regime, and even welcomed into the empire. The Mongols were pragmatic rulers, recognizing the value of skilled administrators, artisans, and merchants, regardless of their origin. Their enemies were legendary, formidable armies and empires that had stood for centuries. They were not facing weak or disorganized opponents. China's Jin dynasty, a powerful and sophisticated empire that had long dominated northern China. Their armies were vast, their cities heavily fortified, and their emperors confident in their ability to withstand any threat. The mighty Khwarezmian Empire, a vast realm stretching across Central Asia, renowned for its wealth, its learning, and its fierce warriors. They controlled vital trade routes and possessed a formidable military machine. And even the knights of Europe, armored warriors steeped in chivalry and battle-hardened from the Crusades. They represented the pinnacle of European military technology and were considered by many to be the most formidable fighting force in the world. Yet the Mongols crushed them all, One by one, these mighty empires fell before the Mongol onslaught. Their victories were decisive, their impact devastating. With discipline, superior tactics, and a knack for adapting enemy technology, they were quick to learn from their enemies, incorporating new weapons and strategies into their own arsenal. Like siege weapons, they turned the art of siege warfare into a science, developing new and innovative ways to breach fortifications and bring down even the most heavily defended cities. But here's the twist, the part of the story that often gets overlooked. The Mongols weren't just destroyers. They were also builders, innovators, and administrators. They built a postal system spanning continents, the Yam, a network of relay stations that allowed messages and goods to travel vast distances with unprecedented speed. This system facilitated trade, communication, and the flow of information throughout the empire, protected the Silk Road, ensuring the safe passage of merchants and goods between East and West. This revitalized trade, fostering economic growth and cultural exchange, and let traders and travelers pass safely. They understood that a thriving economy benefited everyone, including the rulers. Their empire was shockingly tolerant, a stark contrast to the religious persecution that was common in many other parts of the world at the time. Muslims were allowed to practice their faith freely, build mosques, and participate in the economic and political life of the empire. Buddhists found patronage and support, with monasteries and temples flourishing under Mongol rule, and Christians all found a place. Nestorian Christians, in particular, thrived in the Mongol Empire, holding positions of influence and spreading their faith throughout Asia. Want another surprise? Prepare to have your preconceptions challenged once again. Genghis Khan outlawed the kidnapping and selling of women, a progressive step for the time, reflecting a degree of respect for women that was rare in many other societies, and even promoted merit over birthright. Talent and ability were valued above social status, creating opportunities for individuals from all backgrounds to rise through the ranks. So, next time you think of the Mongols, remember, don't just focus on the battles and the bloodshed. They weren't just horsemen with bows. They were more than just warriors. They were innovators, lawmakers, and bridge builders. They connected East and West, fostering a period of unprecedented cultural exchange and economic growth. Their legacy, it's still galloping through history today. The echoes of their empire can be found in the trade routes that still crisscross Asia, in the legal systems of some countries, and in the cultural traditions that have been passed down through generations. The Mongol Empire was a complex and contradictory phenomenon, a force of both destruction and creation, and its impact on the world is still felt today.